4th down and 3 from the 16-yard line of Kansas State. Beck from the shotgun. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Hard snap count again. And now Rocco takes the snap, looks left, fires that way. It's caught by Hansen, and he fights for the corner, spins off a tackler, and gets to the goal line. Touchdown, Carson Hansen. Oh my goodness, they flared it out to Hansen out of the backfield. They might review it to see if he actually got across.
It's almost as good if he doesn't.
And that is going to do it. How about these Cyclones? Career victory number 100 for Matt Campbell as the Cyclones win the Aer Lingus College Football Classic.
That's the way it sounded over the weekend as we have tackle football, real tackle football that counts in the standings. Welcome in. This is three-man front. Week 1, week 0 is in the books. That's the way it sounded as Iowa State took care of Kansas State 24-21. Wow, Landrum, what a way to start the college football season.
Yeah, another exciting game that we got there in Dublin. You had 2 ranked teams and turnovers. That was an issue that came back to bite Kansas State. But congratulations to Iowa State. There's nothing like going all that way and coming back 1-0.
And I'm really glad the second half turned out to be a really good game.
Yeah.
Because the first half, 4 fumbles, 8 punts, 21 points. And you heard Kleiman at halftime. The field was in terrible shape. Both teams, it looked like both teams had not played a game yet. And then when you go overseas to do it and you play on a soccer pitch as opposed to an actual football field, then that can present some problems like it did in the first half.
But it was better than not having any games. We had competitive football. And like you said, the second half, it seemed like things kind of settled down and slowed down for both of those teams.
I love the first half.
Well, of course you did.
I love chaos and
like
madness and punts.
Yep, slippery footballs.
Yes, it was great.
Yeah, I had texted Molly during the game. I was like going, please tell me y'all had better weather when y'all were over there because the first half was looked like you were playing the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I sent him a picture of when I was there, and it was gorgeous skies.
I just imagine the weather being like that all the time over there.
Yeah. Pretty
I
cloudy.
know that it's not, but when I picture even Ireland or I'm watching the Open somewhere across the pond, I just envision it being that way.
But you're always on a links course.
Yeah. Right?
Winds blowing.
There's wind,
rain.
enough rain to make you mad.
Mm-hmm. So we had a close game last year between Georgia Tech and Florida State. This year it was Iowa State over Kansas State. Rocco backed 183 yards, responsible for 3 touchdowns, including that big-time throw there on 4th down. I mean, that was huge with 2:26 to go in the game. The post-game story, though, the big one, was what happened outside of Aviva Stadium. It showed 2 Kansas State supporters wrestling around in a parking lot puddle. And then, of course, we found out later that it was the father and brother of the Kansas State quarterback, Avery Johnson.
It just means more.
I guess so.
Even in the Big 12, it just means more.
And then the Johnson family had to release a statement yesterday afternoon apologizing for their shenanigans in Dublin.
Passionate people, man. But when I saw the story, I thought this absolutely could fit in the SEC.
Oh, easily.
With a lot of the fan bases.
Could you imagine if that was an SEC, like it was a conference game in Dublin to start the season? Between just name 2 SEC fan bases?
Yeah.
How much fun that would be.
Give us Tennessee and Ole Miss.
Ooh. Or how about playing the Egg Bowl there?
Ooh.
That'd be good. How about this? How about Florida LSU?
Another good
Those
one.
2 fan bases over there.
I think anything with LSU involved, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I would love
right?
to see LSU.
Yeah. That would be big. Coming up today on the program, we're going to give you a listen in to a couple of other press conferences besides the fact that Kalen DeBoer, you will hear that in its entirety at 12 noon. Hugh Freeze, typically on Mondays, he's going to be on at 11 o'clock. But today, because of the Friday game, the schedule, he is going to be on at 1:30 with his weekly press conference. But we've got Mike Norvell coming up at 10:30. A little bit after that, we've got Dave Aranda. So we're going to try to give you a listen in to see what those 2 coaches have to say about Florida State hosting Alabama. And, of course, the Baylor Bears hosting the Auburn Tigers. First time since, 1977 that Auburn has played in Waco, Texas. So we will listen to all the coaches involved in the big games. But we go back to Saturday. We just talked about what took place in Dublin, Ireland. Let's go to the final game of the day, which was over in much better weather in Honolulu, in Hawaii, as the Fighting Rainbow Warriors were taking on the Stanford Cardinal. And this is a very special moment. Take a listen to the way it sounded on CBS Sports Network.
There is Kansei Matsuzawa. Again, he learned how to kick watching YouTube in Japan. Wanted to be a college player. Went to junior college in the Midwest because he wanted to go someplace where they didn't speak Japanese. Learned the language. Arrived here last year. And the game may rest on his right foot. Snap. Kick is up and good! And Hawaii has done it!
Unbelievable, gritty performance.
Unbelievable. Big win for Hawaii. They take care of business 23-20. It's a Japanese kicker who learned how to kick on YouTube, went to JUCO to learn English. And they also had a quarterback, Conrad, that was playing on one leg. Did it remind you of Tua, any? The left-handed Hawaiian quarterback?
Maybe just a little bit. At least he came out of the injury tent and got to keep playing, unlike we saw happen with Tua too many times in
Numerous
his career.
times with Tua.
Yeah, numerous, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, what a cool story, and you heard a little bit of it there, but a guy who came over to America on vacation when he was growing up, attended an NFL game, said, I want to learn how to kick like that, learns on YouTube, like you heard him say, he went to a junior college in Ohio, learned how to speak English, and then yesterday, or on Saturday, hit 3 field goals, including the game-tying field goal with 2 minutes left, and then the game winner as time expired. What a cool story and one of those very, very special moments in sports.
Well, I'll tell you what, based on the information that I've heard the last couple of weeks at Alabama camp,
they could use a guy like that.
Can he transfer to Tuscaloosa? Because that might be an issue.
Oh, you have a missed kick on Saturday in Tallahassee, people are going to start going, we got some kid on campus that's watching YouTube right now?
People that own kicking academies and run those things, this is their worst nightmare.
You really can learn to do anything on YouTube now.
Yeah, almost anything.
So we've got some sound of Matsuyama, right? Or what's his name? Matsuzawa? Matsuzawa. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear what he sounds like.
I'm kind of nervous right now, more than like when I kicked game-winning field goal. Like speaking English is tough, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the moment, and when we gave up the second touchdown to the Stanford, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be my game, and I just prepared game-tying field goal and also game-winning field goal. I knew that was gonna happen, so like just focus on myself, that like I said, and that's the thing only I can do. So control what I can control. That's everything I do on the field.
Is there anything this kid can't do? There was no broken English there.
I thought
he's got the coach speak down
well.
Perfectly.
But it didn't sound broken at all.
I can guarantee you, if I did learn Japanese, my version would not be that clean.
No, mine either.
But how cool is that? He wanted to go to school in Ohio because he wanted to go somewhere he would be forced to learn to speak English because they wouldn't be able to speak Japanese.
Didn't I read, was
That's
he
crazy.
like a waiter at Applebee's or somewhere like that?
Yeah, it was. I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but yeah, he was a waiter in Japan. Mm-hmm.
What a cool story.
Awesome story.
So the Rainbow Warriors get their first win over a power conference team since the second week of the 2019 season. It had almost been 6 years to the day that they beat a Power 4 opponent. Unbelievable.
How much did Jim Phillips drink on Saturday night?
I think they probably know that
How much
Stanford's...
did Andrew Luck drink on Saturday?
Stanford's in for a long season. But Hawaii coach Timmy Chang, he got a $7,500 bonus by beating a Power 4 opponent.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't go a long way over there, from what I've heard.
No,
pretty,
it might be
pretty
a
pricey.
Yeah.
tank of gas right there.
Can of
For the week.
Spam.
For the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hawaii gets the big win. Almost a disaster in Las Vegas, Nevada, as the Runnin' Rebels' new head coach, Dan Mullen, at halftime, he was losing 17-14 to Idaho State. Matter of fact, UNLV trailed 31-24 with 13 minutes and 40 seconds left to play. But then the Rebels defense stepped up, 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter. former Michigan quarterback Alex Orji. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Remember, he was supposed to be what? Milroe, right? Wasn't that the comparisons?
Actually, maybe in hindsight, a pretty accurate comparison, all
Yeah.
things considered.
But he scored the winning touchdown on an 11-yard scramble. I guess the thing that's just, and it's the first game of the season, a lot of weird things happen. UNLV was picked number 2 in the in the Mountain West Conference in the preseason poll. Idaho State was picked 7th in the Big Sky, which is an FCS, by the way.
Yes.
It's not FBS. And UNLV was a 30.5 point favorite. UNLV was, sorry. And we played that. Did you win that? Who won that?
I took it. I took Idaho State.
Yeah, by the way.
I was about to say, that was Brett Norsworthy's bold pick of the week, and he hit it.
Yeah. By the way, you went 5-0.
Yes.
You were perfect. Molly went 4-1.
Almost perfect. Thanks, Dan Mullen.
And you went 2-3.
Very on brand.
It was a rough Friday for Conrad. The Rebels gave up 555 yards of offense to an FCS opponent.
Man, you better be really good on offense. You're going to do that.
And by the way, I'm just thinking ahead. I'm not saying it's my lock of the year, but I think the over, wherever it's going to be set for Sam Houston versus UNLV this week, take the over.
Yeah.
Probably a good bet.
I can see that.
Yep.
It's probably a good one. The other kicker is UNLV paid ISU $415,000 to play that game. That is 15% of Idaho State's total football budget for the year. Their football budget's only like $2.5 million for the entire year. So almost got out of there with a win and a nice check.
I'm just glad
It's
Dan Mullen was
it's one
excited.
game, but I just don't see it lasting a super long time there for Dan Mullen.
Let's hear from old Dan, the former head coach of Mississippi State and Florida. His running Rebels get victory number 1.
Told you we were going to put on a great show, right? Right? In the words of Maximus Decimus Meridius, are you not entertained? That was pretty entertaining. It was fun.
Good spirits from Dan.
Yeah, he also went on a little bit
We're going to
later.
get more movie quotes. We got Aranda from the Wolf of Wall Street.
He also took a shot at tennis players later on in that press conference.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He said if you're, because tennis is an individual sport. Mm-hmm. So, everybody should be excited. If you're not in the locker room celebrating the win, then you might as well go play tennis. Because tennis is such an individualized sport. So
Well, doubles.
On the one hand, it's like, okay, cool. I get it. It's your debut. A lot of things went wrong. A win is a win, right? But it is kind of shocking to hear a coach of Dan Mullen and what he's accomplished in his career to escape versus Idaho State and be, oh, yeah, that was great. Wasn't that entertaining? I guess, but I feel like you have a lot of things to fix and work on this week, Dan.
Did you guys find the game somewhere to watch?
No.
I tried.
It was on the Mountain West Network.
Mm-hmm.
I tried
I didn't know
multiple places,
existed.
but you read all the so-called game notes, and it was supposed to be on CBS Sports Network, and there was a WNBA game on.
Yeah.
I
No,
was
it was
following
on Mountain West Network.
I was following on my game tracker just on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The old school way.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas beats Fresno State 31-7. Jalen Daniels, good afternoon. $300 million stadium looked awesome.
Looked
Yeah, it
nice.
did.
Looked really nice.
Be proud of it.
And then Western Kentucky took out Sam Houston 41-24. Maverick McIver, 25 years old, the quarterback.
He can sling it.
He went for 401 yards, 3 touchdowns, ran for another score.
Did you see Sam Houston's conversion rate on third down? I think they were 2 of 14.
Oh, that's efficient.
That's a stat that we will follow. Yeah, you do that in most games, you're going to come out the loser.
Hilltoppers had 506 yards of offense. That's why I was saying,
yeah,
UNLV, Sam Houston this week. That one might be a game worth penciling in for an over. I don't even know what the over is in that game, but whatever it is, might not be enough
It's probably like 75, right?
based on what we saw.
Low 70s.
Based on what we saw in week 0.
I think it was 66 in the Idaho State game. So
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it might be about that in this game.
yeah, probably so.
let's see if I can find it.
Not sure if it's been posted yet. A lot of those will wait till Tuesday morning, but on regular
don't have it
game
yet.
weeks. Yeah. So a lot going on this Reaction Monday. We'd love to hear from you on the Courtesy GMC text line, 205-834-9450, 1-800-239-WJOX. We're going to hear from Kalen DeBoer a little bit later, along with, obviously, Hugh Freeze as they get ready. You got a line?
I got one, 60.5.
Ooh.
UNLV minus 10. Traveling.
Okay. Traveling on the road.
Yep.
To Texas.
On a Friday night.
Beware.
What a weird way to start off your season.
It is. Idaho State that you almost lost to, and now you go on the road to Sam Houston. Good times.
Good luck, Dan.
Yep. Week 1 is here. We'd love to hear from you. Again, we will hear from Mike Norvell, David Randa, Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze, all that straight ahead on Three Man Front. It is 10:19. Welcome back. This is Three Man Front on Jocks. Just went over some of the highlights of week 0 in college football. And each and every Monday on this program, brought to you by Train, we have instituted back the hot and cold segment that we used to do back in the day. And Molly is going to take that over. And Molly, I know there were some interesting things, both hot and cold, that you saw over the weekend.
Yeah, so my hot for the week, and I know we brought it up in the first segment, but it's the one and only Hawaii kicker, Kanze Matsuzawa, because obviously when you come from, I think Hocking College is the school he came from in Ohio, you go there to learn English and you go to YouTube and you essentially learn how to kick. That is incredible. And plus his walk-off field goal is what helped me in my Bet It or Forget It standings as well, because I did pick Hawaii. I think Landrum, you did too?
I did.
Okay, so yeah, that was very hot. Now, cold, my Saturday was great. But Sunday, for one of my fantasy leagues, I had my fantasy draft. And I guess the manager of our league decided that it would be a really cool idea to do an auction draft again, which I absolutely despise.
Explain that to me. I do not know what that means.
So technically, you get a certain amount of money in your draft, and you have to bid on each player, and whoever gets the highest bid wins that player. It is awful, because I don't like spending money to begin with, so I don't like doing it. And if you have auto bid on, like let's say you're not paying attention, you could be bidding back and forth with somebody for a player you might not want, and then you waste all your money, and then you might have $1 for the rest of your roster. It is terrible. I do not recommend it.
So how did you end up with your team? Were you happy with your team?
Not real. I mean, I'm going to be honest. No one's team is really that great, and I guess that's kind of the parody of it. I did get Amon-Ra, though. That was who I really wanted. I got, let's see, Joe Burrow's my quarterback. I have CeeDee Lamb. I have Amon-Ra. Mark Andrews is my tight end. I have the Tampa Bay kicker, the Browns defense, James Conner from the Cardinals, and then like Chase Brown from the Bengals, and that's my team.
Have you had one
That's
of those
a pretty good team.
drafts before,
It's
Conrad?
really not that bad.
That's a good team.
I thought she was about to say Joe Flacco was her quarterback.
Oh,
yeah, I was
no.
about to say, you have a really good
No,
team.
I got Shiesty.
Have you done one of those auction fantasy drafts?
No, I don't like
They're terrible.
I don't like that format. I like the snake draft. Yeah.
The snake draft is way better. Because if you're someone like me, I don't like bidding to begin with anyway. Because it shows you like the value of each player. But a lot of times you're going over because a guy like, I don't know, a Saquon or a CD, like there's a lot of people bidding for those players.
Fantasy drafts are too long as it is. I can't imagine doing one of those.
Oh,
I
it's horrible.
I wouldn't be a fan of that either.
It's so long.
Unless you had a live auctioneer that they brought in.
There you go. So yeah, that's my freezing cold. If you're a fantasy person out there, do not recommend an auction draft. Just stick with snake.
Good advice.
Don't fix it if it ain't broke.
Exactly. Well, the Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal, but don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Train cooling system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand for 11 consecutive years, and they're the official cooling partner here at Jock. So go and find a comfort specialist near you at train.com.
So FSU quarterback, he may not have the respect from Bama fans like Conrad, but he has the respect of his teammates and coaches. Tommy Castellanos, he was chosen to break the rock after a successful fall camp. Now, Breaking the Rock is a tangible symbol there in Tallahassee of the team achieving its goals, such as finishing a tough camp. And the player is chosen because he demonstrates the team's values, or CLIMB. You know what CLIMB stands for? I'm going to tell you. Commitment, little things, intensity, mental toughness, and brotherhood.
Yeah.
So that's why he was given the opportunity to break the rock. And just moments ago,
What
Florida
was it,
State,
character first?
Commitment.
Oh, commitment.
Yeah, because he's been so committed to Central Florida. No, I'm sorry. Boston. No, I'm sorry.
No.
It's his third school. So, yeah, he's shown a lot of commitment.
The State
there.
University of Florida.
Yes, currently. Never know. Because he quit 3 games in last year, Boston College. Anyway, the depth chart has come out at Florida State, and Tommy Castellanos is your starting quarterback, according to the depth chart. How about Hueytown's Roydell Williams? Remember him?
Yes.
6th year of eligibility.
Number 5?
He is listed
6
as an or in regards to the starting running back position. He is in a battle with Gavin Sawchuk. Does that name sound familiar, Conrad?
Say that name again.
Gavin Sawchuk.
That name does sound familiar.
He ran the ball 2 times for 8 yards against Alabama last year at the University of Oklahoma.
Okay.
So Sawchuk and Roydell Williams are battling for the number 1 running back position. And don't forget one of the named wide receivers in the number 1 position, Squirrel White from the University of Tennessee, who is now playing for the Seminoles.
He went and got paid.
Mm-hmm.
As we were talking about before the show, you did games that Roydell was played in high school, right?
No, I did not.
You never did?
I never did.
I did a game at Hueytown that he was a running back, and this was when he would have been an underclassman.
He was good. Real good.
But hard to believe that you just brought that up. That
6
was almost
years.
a decade ago.
Yeah, 6 years of eligibility. So when we come back on 3-Man Front, we'll try to go down to Tallahassee and let you listen to Mike Norvell as his team gets ready for the Alabama Crimson Tide on this Reaction Monday on Jocks. 10:29 on this Reaction Monday. Welcome back in. This is 3-Man Front. Landrum, Molly, Conrad. I'm Pat with you until 2 o'clock today. We'll hear from Kalen DeBoer coming up at 12 noon. Hugh Freeze at 1:30. Different time frame, weekly, that you'll typically hear Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze will be every Monday at 11 o'clock, but because of the game on Friday night, doing things a little bit different this week in regards to media availability. Auburn had its final scrimmage on Friday night. No big surprises there, trying to keep everybody healthy, but they went through the dress rehearsal as they get ready for the Friday night game in Waco, Texas.
Jock's text line is open. That is the best way to get in touch with us every single day here on the show. 205-834-9450. Going back to the University of Hawaii's kicker. This text reads, my son tried to walk on at Alabama as a kicker/punter, and they warmed up for 45 minutes. And then they were told to leave because they could not use footballs and send in film. If you don't have a kicker or punter, it's your fault, Alabama.
Ouch.
I'm just reading them. This one rolling in. An interesting question or prediction would be, what percentage will Alabama go for it on 4th down this year instead of kicking a field goal? With Grubb, I'd say well over 50%. Thoughts?
I was told that the back end of last week, the kickers had a much better day, but leading up to that point, they had been disappointment.
All right. Going back to not being able to find the game.
The UNLV game.
UNLV and Idaho State game. One of our listeners says YouTube live streams always has the game. Just look up who's playing. I couldn't find it.
I tried every trick I knew. I could not find it.
I couldn't either.
Did you call you and Conrad's friend?
The one in Guatemala? No, I didn't reach out to him on Twitch.
What was the game again?
It was the Monday Night Football game. It was when Conrad and our DirecTV was turned off because the whatever was going on between ESPN and DirecTV.
I always remember that kid as Lupe.
It might have been Lupe. But, yeah, he was having a good time there in Guatemala, just streaming the game.
Here's a familiar name/voice. We will just get the text today on the text line. Don.
Who?
Don.
I'm not familiar with that name.
If we could do it in his voice, it'd be great. Hello, my friends on the way back from vacation. Prediction Monday. Auburn 31-17. One defensive touchdown late to put the game away. Bama will win 31-20, but won't cover the spread. So Conrad will lose his friendly wager with my friend FSU Dave, our favorite chair umpire of our crazy crew.
All right, let's go to Tallahassee, Florida. Let's take a listen, if we can, to Mike Norvell, who is meeting with the media.
And let me preface this. They were having audio issues at the beginning, so this is about a minute or two into his press conference, but he's talking about Alabama here.
No problem.
Quality opponent, top 10 ranked team, a lot of excitement around our program. So looking forward to a big week of preparation. I like the things the guys have done up to this point. As we have got a jump start on Alabama, and now it's just it's about continuing to grow and improve throughout this week, so we can go play at at our best level. Come 3:45 on Saturday.
First question will be Brendan. As you've gone through camp and preseason, all the good stuff, do you have a sense for what this team is? What do you know, I guess, about this team personality-wise and even schematically? What are things you think you guys can call upon this year?
Yeah, I've been really pleased with the competitiveness of this team, and all situations that we've tried to throw at them. It's easy to say offense, defense, but special teams work. Everything that they're doing, growing in our situational awareness. Trying to see guys that take ownership in what they're being asked to do on a specific play, whether it's coverage, run scheme, obviously technique or fundamental that they have to use, but really more the mentality about how they go into to executing that. And I really have liked the fight that I've seen in this team throughout our preseason workouts, and really since I got here, in the off season, stemming all the way back from January, and I think that's going to be a great characteristic that's needed, and something that we were looking for, and obviously come Saturday, we're going to get to see them do that against another opponent, and I do think this is a team that has. A lot of versatile playmakers. When you look on both sides of the ball, guys that can align in different places, with what they're being asked to do. And I'm excited to see all of it come together. With the different combinations, but also the 11 guys that take the field to go get the job done.
Chase Lofton listed as a wide receiver. I know you guys have talked about his ability to flex out. Can you kind of paint the picture of how he can be used?
Yeah, Chase is somebody that we're really excited about, and just from coming in the spring to what he was able to show, seeing how that's been able to transition. He's a very natural route runner. He's got great explosiveness, ball skills. He's a guy that really has earned opportunity. And I love our tight end room with the guys that we have there. And I think that Chase being able to put himself in this position is a testament to his work and ability, and I'm really fired up to see what he's going to be able to do throughout the course of this season, and starting here Saturday.
We saw the video you guys put out of Tommy breaking the rock at the end of camp. You knew what a playmaker he was coming in. I know you knew him personally from recruiting as well, but has he exceeded any expectations? Has he been exactly what you guys wanted since he came in?
Yeah, he's we had very high expectations when he joined the program of what he what he would bring, and it's easy to see the athleticism, the skill, the games that he's played, the impact that he can make. But what I've been just I'm very proud of him for the investment in others, the investment into the program. He brings a great spirit, into this building, and whether it's how he greets people walking in the door, whether it's the Extra Point Club ladies that are sitting at the front, to how he interacts with managers, trainers, his teammates, the competitiveness that he brings, the challenge that he presents, and just seeing when he steps on the field, guys guys striving to be better, and you need that from that position. And he's definitely provided a great spark for this team, and I think guys have rallied with him in this off season, and definitely excited to play for him. And I think that Tommy's earned that throughout this time here at Florida State, and I was really pleased to see that to see him break the rock. But it was pretty easy decision just watching the way that he comes to work every day, and what this team and his teammates mean to him.
Javen Boggs gets the starting receiver role. I know you've talked a lot about him throughout the offseason, but what was it that truly separated him to kind of get that role so quickly?
Well, I mean, I think he's been extremely productive. He is, from the spring to fall camp, you saw growth. He is definitely great, got a wonderful skill set. But when he's got his opportunities, he's capitalized on them, and he still has a lot of growth in front of him. But he's put himself in this position, and I think he's earned the opportunity. And so most freshmen that come in, they all want to play, and they'll say it, they'll sound good. Some of them have the ability and talent, but it's just also carries over into the mindset, carries over into making sure that you know what to do, how to do it, and then the consistency of being where you need to be, and being able to execute when your number's called. And so I think Javen's done a really nice job of put himself in that position, and I'm excited to see him go compete on game day.
Players who weren't listed on the depth chart, maybe we're expecting Lewayne McCoy, Kevin Wynn, are those injury related? And then health-wise going into Alabama, how are you guys doing there?
Yeah, those will be two guys that'll be out this week. They're expecting a relatively quick return, but those are two guys that will not be available.
One guy who did come back from injury later in the fall was Jason Jenkins, and he gets a start. In that short amount of time that you were able to see him out there, what was it that kind of stuck out so he could get that starting job?
Yeah, I mean, he's a violent player, and he is. You feel his presence. We knew that whenever he was coming in. Unfortunately, it was delayed in person. Just with the injury there in the spring, and having to kind of work through his rehab process. But he attacked every day, and I've used him as an example. I think I mentioned him and Jacob Rizzi, both guys that that had spring injuries that really had to bust their tails to get back to have an opportunity in this game. And both of them came back before but was initially thought would be the return date, and for them to both get live work in that second scrimmage, and to see them, to go out there and function, and really even in these last couple of weeks, just be able to grow throughout, knocking some of the rust off, and just the technique, the fundamentals, the communication, playing faster. I think both of those guys have done a really impressive job in the things that controlling the things that they could control in putting themselves in a position. But I think Jason is he's a guy I'm really looking forward to seeing out there on the field, and he brings a physicality and an explosiveness that's absolutely needed, and plays with an incredible motor.
Brenda, when we spoke to you in the final week of camp, you mentioned the safety position. Maybe it was the boundary safety, one of the safety spots being what you were looking forward to. Looks like Ashton Barker was listed. I guess, how did that shake out to you? What did he do to kind of distinguish himself? Yeah,
I mean, Ashton's, I think he's taken some tremendous strides. And, he was a guy that when he came here, was kind of limited just on overall, experience. And, he dealt with injury in high school, went to junior college, was able to come in and, really, was learning on the run. And you see that you've seen his growth. You saw some plays last year that showed up in special teams, a little bit defensively. But I think he's playing with a lot of confidence. He's got great size. You can run. You definitely a physical presence. You see him. I think KJ Kirkland's continued to emerge. You can see him. A good amount there. You'll hear this weekend as well. A guy that can play multiple positions. But it's a competitive group, and it's. I think it's a testament to the consistency of what Ashland's done, but it's also we got guys there that we're very confident can play at a high level.
That is Mike Norvell, his weekly press conference as they get ready to host the Alabama Crimson Tide coming up on Saturday. We will try to listen in to Dave Aranda a little bit later this morning as he's meeting with the media as he will preview the Auburn game. First time since 1977 that the Tigers will be heading to Waco. And then you will hear in its entirety the Kalen DeBoer press conference at noon and Hugh Freeze at 1:30. So we got a lot of coach speak going on today. And we will share all of that with you as the show moves along.
Well, you want a great beverage that doesn't contain alcohol, that can keep you going, elevate your mood this football season. Our friends at Mystic Beverage right there in Blount County, Alabama. Sparkling spring water that is absolutely delicious, and the cans have gotten a new look, a makeover, if you will. My favorite's the Lift Blend. It's got the green coffee bean extract. It's not going to make you feel queasy, but it's going to pick you up, give you that clean pick-me-up during the day when you're watching football and you're trying to hang out with friends. Also, you can go with the High Heels Delta 9, or you can go with the Nirvanic. Great products. You can find all of their brands there at mysticbeverage.com. Again, a great Alabama-based company. You can find it at your local Piggly Wiggly and other retailers. Just go to mysticbeverage.com for more information.
It is Reaction Monday. We'd love to hear from you on the text line, 205-834-9450, brought to you by Courtesy GMC. The phone number is wide open, 1-800-239-WJOX. That's what they were playing yesterday afternoon in Atlanta as the Braves knock off the Mets 4-3. Oh, is this the Braves or the Seminoles? What are we talking about?
I turned the light on my phone and started doing the chop. I thought we were talking Braves.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were talking about. Braves win yesterday 4-3. They avoid the first ever sweep by the Mets at Truist Park. It had never happened before. Matter of fact, the last time they swept the Braves in Atlanta was back in 2016 at the old stadium. How about that?
Just doesn't happen.
No. Never had happened at Truist. So the Braves get the win 4-3 over the Mets. And every game now for the Mets, it's crucial because they're in a dogfight to try to get into the playoffs. And so that was a tough loss for them. They had won the first two games.
What a terrible franchise.
Yeah, of the series. Also got a little bad news of the weekend in regards to Major League Baseball. So for the first time in 4 years, Major League Baseball is returning to Iowa. The Iowa game is coming back in the cornfield.
Shucks.
Yeah. I was disappointed because I was hoping that Birmingham would be able to get a game, but instead they are going back to Iowa. If you remember, back in 2021 and 2022, they played there. But the interesting part of it was they dismantled the field. It was a temporary stadium. They dismantled it. They sold it. And then the property, which Frank Thomas, if I'm not mistaken, he and a group of investors, the former Auburn first baseman, Hall of Famer, played for the Chicago White Sox, his group bought the area, and they have built a stadium on the site. Now, it's going to be less than the 7,000, I think, was there for the temporary stadium a few years back. But Major League Baseball is set to announce the whole entire schedule for next season tomorrow, but it's already leaked out that the game is returning back to Iowa, and it will be the Minnesota Twins taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Twins will be the home team, as the Phillies and Twins will be back in the cornfields there in Iowa. So I was kind of bummed about that. I was really hoping that Birmingham would have been able to.
But I was looking at the plans, and I don't know if they completed all of this for the design, but they had a lot of youth ball fields that they were building there.
They did do that.
Which is really cool. But they were adding 100 acres to the existing 190-acre site. You got a 100,000 square foot field house, 9 fields for youth baseball and softball, and a 104-room boutique hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Also an RV park, concert amphitheater, jogging trails through the cornfields, and a park designed to be inclusive for children and adults with disabilities. Cool project.
Kind of hoping that we'd have gotten maybe the Braves and the A's.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
That would have been cool. But hey,
maybe
the next year.
Maybe next year, yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll wait for 2020. Oh.
Yeah, there won't be any baseball. See, that will be our luck. They'll announce, hey,
I know.
we're going back to Birmingham in 2027.
Yep.
Oh, man. Yeah. There's no baseball. Might be Scabs.
It might be.
Yeah. It's your Monday edition of Things to Look Forward to.
Might be a bunch of guys that are currently on the Rockies roster. You never know.
All right, so speaking of things to look forward to, as Auburn fans out there, are you ticked that RG3 is going to be on your broadcast on Fox?
God.
The dude's bad anyway on TV, but now you got to
How
suffer through
insufferable
him.
is that going to be?
That's going to be awful.
How many people will sync up the radio call with their television so they don't have to listen to
Well,
RG3?
I think a lot of people do that anyway to listen.
I
to
hope
their
that you have
hometown
that ability
broadcast.
to do this for this game, because I can't do it.
Man, I saw that and I was like, oh.
I would almost rather listen to the Baylor radio broadcast.
I know
Almost.
this is going to sound like we're just taking shots at RG3, and we kind of are.
We
but
are.
He is the one college football broadcaster where if I find out he's on a game, I'm less excited for that game.
And it was really bad when he was teamed up with Jones at ESPN.
It wasn't great.
He's awful. He is.
It's bad.
He's not my favorite.
It's rough.
Or second. Or third.
I mean, whether you like someone's political background or not, it's just the fact he was just a bad broadcaster. What is going on in there? What are you doing?
I was monitoring Dave Aranda because he's late to his press conference, and we just got a lovely advertisement that was really loud.
Oh, okay. Speaking of broadcasters this weekend, our teammate Greg McElroy, he will be doing the University of Miami Notre Dame game. That's on Sunday night on ABC. And then Fowler and Herbstreit, they're going to be doing the LSU Clemson game there on Saturday night on ABC. So Herbstreit, Fowler, Saturday night on ABC. And then on Sunday, we'll have our teammate Greg McElroy taking on the Miami and Notre Dame broadcast.
800-239-WJOX is the phone line. Our buddy PG wants to chime in. PG, what'd you think about Dan Mullen and the Fighting Running Rebels the other night?
Oh, man, I was hoping he was going to lose. I thought they had it, and I said, Lord, he'd come back, and I said, crap. But, hey, and then he did a shot. I think he did a shot at us during the week about, something, he won't leave us alone. I wish, when some of these coaches leave and go, they don't throw shots back at us, but I guess that's the way it is.
Brian Harsin has got to be one of the worst that I can remember. For a guy that made out like a bandit goes out of his way to, what is it, cheers to the winners.
Yeah, and a guy that never won anything at Auburn.
Yeah, that's amazing. How these coaches, I guess it's called retaliation, but getting fired. Dan Mullen's ego is so huge. Even high school coaches in Florida didn't want to deal with him. That's why he said recruiting's only, summertime or something like that. I don't do 24/7. So
hey, PG, I got some breaking news for you. You want some breaking news?
Yeah,
from Sunbelt Billy.
Go ahead, bro.
He has just announced that DJ Lagway
is
the
starting
QB against LIU on Saturday.
All right.
Sharks won't know what hit them.
Nope. Those those northern guys that isn't that weird that Florida is playing a team named Sharks?
You know what?
Will Jim McElwain be
but
in
if
attendance?
you're going to play a lettuce game, let it be against a school where we weren't quite sure they had a football team.
You know what's good about it? Who said that about the Sharks? That's what I was going to say. It has to deal with the Jim McElwain story.
That was
that was good. Because I believe that's what had to deal with that team because of the Shark incident, which I believe though it wasn't really true. But, what the heck?
Well, I mean, now that we know that Connor Stallions was called by Central Michigan and Jim McElwain to be on the sideline, would you now go back and think that might have been him laying naked on the Shark?
You're probably right. Oh, Lord,
I mean, it changes my whole perspective on the whole
rule
incident.
anything out now.
Yeah.
No.
Isn't a shark's skin like sandpaper?
I think that would hurt.
Thought it was rubbery.
Maybe he's into that.
I don't know until I go down Panama City September 11th and see if I get bit by one out there.
Tie some bait fish to your leg, and there's a good chance you will.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Hey, got my prediction now. not for the Florida State-Alabama game.
Uh-oh.
And I want to follow up on it. I know some people are not going to be happy with this, and they're going to say, go the other way next time Pelham Gator makes a prediction because you're going to win money or something. But I got the score as an upset, FSU 34, Alabama 28. And the reason I say that, they're pretty loaded. They've got a good coaching staff. But what I really like is every time they play a big opener, like with LSU, they beat them back-to-back, remember? And they always seem, except for Georgia Tech. Now, if they play Georgia Tech, they're in trouble. But something about this game has got, these fans are going to be wild and crazy down there.